Keith, it's lovely to have the opportunity to talk to you as one of the founding directors of eSTEeM. Could you maybe start off by telling me about how it all came into being?
I'm one of those people who was around the OU for a long time. I joined in 1972 and sort of worked on the first generation of second level courses, those that were following on from the initial foundation courses. And of course, what we were trying to do was to effectively break ground in terms of establishing new techniques, very much designed to create the learning environment around the student. I think that our first Vice Chancellor is supposed to have said that we should create a learning environment for a lighthouse keeper, someone who's working in isolation. So we had to take the learning experience to them. We did a lot of things for the first time in the first years. Some of them worked, some of them, I'm sorry to say, didn't. But it was very much a sort of pioneering experience in that each level of course we moved on to, we were doing it for the first time. And we were using computer marked assignments as part of the system. And they always seemed to me to be something that offered possibilities for rich interaction with students, of giving them options and providing them with feedback. But in the days of communicating with people by post, the feedback loop was probably 3 or more weeks long, whereas ideally what we wanted was the one-to-one dialogue in as close to real time as it could be achieved. And so it's been a time of excitement in terms of development of technology. And I guess I had a period where I was working in the Open University, but somewhat remote from the frontline teaching. And I guess I got the feeling that things were perhaps in a bit of a status, that there was a way that things were done and experimentation was perhaps being downplayed. I was approaching the end of my career and the directorship in eSTEeM looked extremely attractive. I felt that it could be a possibility for invigorating the study of the pedagogies that we use in teaching STEM subjects, which, you know, there have been open universities that have said, because we're a distance teaching university, we don't do STEM. Well, we very much do STEM and have done STEM from the outset. So getting back involved and providing an environment in which we could encourage people to undertake project activities, to study, to innovate in the use of pedagogies, particularly computer-based pedagogies, was something that I felt was, you know, an appropriate bookend to a career that had started with experimenting with some of these techniques, that I could actually help people, and both personally and in institutional terms, by starting again to look seriously and creatively at the possibilities that existed.
But I think eSTEeM has gone further than that, hasn't it, in terms of developing scholarship rather than just the distance teaching?
Yes, I mean, as I was saying, I was sort of in the pioneering days when getting it done was the priority, and I guess I felt that many people weren't getting in later years weren't getting the recognition for outstanding teaching work. And in reality, it's embedding it in the scholarship that is now a very important dimension. And I guess in terms of eSTEeM, probably one of the big buzz moments was the first of our show and tell poster sessions, where we'd recruited people to undertake projects, and we had them standing out there and introducing their projects at their display boards. And there was just a real buzz. And I think it was at that time I thought, yes, this is going to work. It's going to be something that is actually going to deliver. So I've been particularly interested in those projects that have tried to innovate in terms of assessment, and to innovate in assessment in ways that would provide rapid feedback to students, sort of coming back to this dialogic style of teaching, where as a teacher you're asking the questions, the student responds, and you should be in a position to give them some feedback. And if we can get that feedback loop down to, you know, fractions of a second, as we can now, then it's a real advance in the 50 years or so that the OU has been in teaching activity. And okay, I guess the other proud point was when I had the invitation to do this interview for a 10-year anniversary. So it sort of registered that eSTEeM was up and running, it was still running, and it was still doing good things for the university, for the faculty, and for the people who work in it.
Keith, thanks so much. It's been really great to kind of reflect back on that long history and that you're so proud of where eSTEeM is today. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.